Good evening everyone and thank you for joining us tonight and help me welcome Jeff Westbrook from the band Urban Rivers.
Thank you very much, and thank you Lisa for having me. It's a pleasure to be here tonight.
So Jeff, it's good to see you again, and I hear your band has been kicking ass all over town.
It's good to see you too, Lisa. Yeah, we've been getting around quite a bit. But since this coronavirus stuff started and everything is shut down and no one really knows when things are going to get back to normal, it looks like we're just going to have to wait and see how things are going to play out.
I hear that. So let's get into the band's story, like where are you from, how did it all come about? Also I hear coming up with a name is an interesting story.
Yeah, the name does have an interesting story, but a little bit of history first. The band was actually started in Pasadena, Texas by myself and my buddy Dennis. My wife and I had been separated for several years, so Dennis and I were getting together on the weekends, drinking and watching the fights on TV. And he shows me this new guitar he just bought. It just happened to be around tax return time, and he says when you get your return back, you should go buy a new guitar. So we went to a little local shop called Guitar Stringer, and I bought a J. Tercer SG style, and then went to Guitar Center and bought a Fender Frontman 25-watt combo amp. Dennis switched to bass guitar, and we started jamming on the weekends, and learning a few songs. But then we decided we didn't want to be just another one in an ocean of cover bands, so we started writing some songs.
Yeah, there are a crap load of cover bands out there. But didn't writing your own music make it kinda hard to get gigs?
Yeah, kind of, but sometimes the gigs just kind of fall in your lap. And I always tell the guys to keep their ears and eyes open for opportunities. So after that we got a drummer and rented a practice room on the third floor of an old practice space building downtown for a little over 2 years. During that time we fired the first drummer and got another drummer named Stan. Then while working on a metal project a guy came in and stole him. After that Dennis and I took a break, started sharing a space with some other guys. About 6 months or so later we got back together. That's when Kevin, a new drummer, joined the band. Shortly after that we picked up Steve as a lead guitar and I thought things were good. We played about 4 shows over the next 6 months or so. Steve left the band, and then one day before practice, Kevin goes and picks up his gear and tells Dennis he's going to go find the new project. And as I'm asking Dennis, what now? He tells me, sorry to tell you this brother, but I think I'm going to go play heavy metal.
Wow, that kinda sucks.
Yeah, but I wasn't really surprised, because bands go through that kind of stuff all the time. That's just part of the life. So I told them, if that's where your path is leading you, then you need to follow it.
That's cool. So do you still talk to the guys?
Oh yeah, Dennis and I still text and call each other. We don't get to hang out very often, but we go to each other's shows, and we've known each other for over 40 years. He's my brother. I do sometimes miss just hanging out, but life gets in the way, and that's just what we have to deal with sometimes. As for the other guys, we still contact each other, but mostly through social media.
That sounds great. So who are the new guys in the band?
Well, there's Brad Calhoun on bass, Gary Russell on drums, and Brad Tinsley on lead guitar, who also happens to play lead in my son's band too.
So, what is the story about how y'all came up with a name?
Well, have you ever heard of the movie, The Urban Cowboy?
Oh, yes I have. It's one of my favorite movies. Is that where you got the name?
Partially, yes. Dennis and I were talking about the name one night, and Dennis said we should make a play on that movie, and we had some flooding issues around town recently and it made some of our streets look like rivers, so we came up with Urban Rivers.
Okay, but where does the movie Urban Cowboy come in? Was it because it was filmed in Pasadena, Texas?
Well, that's where the urban part of the name came from. Also, a lot of people know this, but most don't. But it just so happens that the main character that John Travolta plays in the movie is a real person, and also happens to be my older brother.
Wow, is that really true?
Yep, it sure is. The Urban Cowboy was based on and written about my brother, and Gilly's Honky Tonk.
Wow, that is pretty cool. So, do you write all of the band's songs?
Yes, actually, I write the lyrics and the rhythm, and I let the guys add their parts. I pretty much let them have creative freedom, unless I want a specific bass or drum line in it. If it fits and it sounds like it goes with the sound of the song, we usually keep it. I'm not really a hardline, my way or the highway kind of guy, but I can be a little picky sometimes.
So do y'all ever do any cover songs?
Once in a while we might throw in a couple covers, but not at every show, it kinda depends. But it's mostly at the end of our regular set anyway. But I'm thinking about telling the guys to familiarize themselves with a few we might throw in for the hell of it.
Well, thank you, Jeff, for joining us tonight. If you get the chance, go see them. You will have a great time. Jeff Westbrook with the band Urban Rivers, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Stay safe and send out the love. From Rock It Up, we love you guys. Good night.